this might be the last story time I share about this sort of subject, unless you guys want more. I just want to maybe spread these stories out a little bit more and talk about something else. I also want to address something that has been brought up in the past and recently. If you check the comments to the past few videos, there is a concern about my behavior. This isn't me flaming anybody, by the way, because I'm going to point out some comments. Feel free to share your opinion. If I didn't want to hear what you guys have to say, I would turn off the comments. But I don't do that. So he mentions about red flags, right? And how I'm not very good at avoiding it or observing it. Well, that may make some of you guys laugh if you know me, because if you've been around for a while now, if you've seen my old videos and even my old channel, red flags is unfortunately something I actively look for. I said it in so many videos in the past that I tend to find myself attracted to toxic or controlling or possessive women with red flags. I am completely aware of it. I know that people, you know that joke people tell online when they see a crazy girl, they'll be like, "Oh, I can fix her." Now, I don't think about that in my head. Like when people say that, they say, "Oh, I can fix her." I'll see red flags, be attracted, but I don't think about fixing her. I just think about the intensity of the relationship being attractive to me. And I think that's a problem with me. Like, I could tell it's unresolved trauma. There is something inside of me that continuously makes me attracted to women who aren't good for me. And I mentioned it in the reply. I was like, look, I see something bad for me. I get attracted because I enjoy intense and chaotic people. Yet, my bigger issue is that I don't set enough boundaries for myself. So when someone does something that ends up hurting me or making me annoyed, it's not only my fault for letting this person who I knew was crazy into my life, but on top of that, I don't set proper boundaries. I don't know if I said that, but proper boundaries. So someone else mentioned about me making content about it, right? Like, I mean, have you guys noticed from my story times, even the deleted videos and my old channel, right? Have you guys noticed that I tend to have stories about crazy people, being around crazy people? Hey, clearly it's not just romantic attraction. I just like being around people who are unusual, weird, and chaotic. And I said this in a recent video. I just don't like normal people. I don't like normies. Sorry to use the term. I'm not a normie fan. I think normal people are boring. They're unrelatable to me. They know so much about things I don't care about. They know so much about celebrities and drama, and that I don't know why you would care about that. I can't even play games with them when I meet them online. They play games that I don't even understand the hype behind. Like Fortnite. I remember when Fortnite first came out, everyone started playing it. Everyone's going crazy about Fortnite right now, you know what I'm saying? And they're raving about it. And that, for some reason, psychologically turned me off to it. I have this very odd antisocial behavior. If I see everyone glazing or jerking something off, hyping up this current trend, I'm like, I don't want to participate in it or even look at it, you know? All you guys are doing, oh, that's so cool right now. Yeah, I'm not into it. Like, I'll just shut down with it. And like you can see in the background, I was talking about last video, I'm just now getting into Elden Ring. Like, I know it's still popular, but like, I just now am getting into it. I remember when everyone else was raving about it and I turned my back to it simply because of that. I'm not a hater towards it. Like, I don't have ill feelings towards anything that's being glazed or trending. I just don't want to be involved once I see it. Clearly, there is something deeply psychologically disturbed in me where this happens on a subconscious level. And this all relates to the concerns you guys have. Yeah, Aku, why do you keep picking women or friends who are clearly unhinged? Then talk or complain about it later on. Well, in my head, I don't think, oh, I can't wait to make content about this person who I meet who's clearly crazy or something. No, I genuinely and authentically am intrigued by this person. Or maybe even attracted to them. Later on, if things don't work, as usual with my channel, since I treat this like a journal, I end up just ranting about it. And as you can see, I respectfully don't give leads to who this person is or whatever, right? I twist details in my stories to protect this person's identity. I just end up ranting about it. And here's the thing. So a lot of you guys find these stories funny, entertaining, or even relatable. But like I mentioned in the response to this comment, if me sharing these experiences make you guys concerned, more concerned than entertained, or like, I feel like you can watch some of these stories or listen to some of these stories and maybe get a lesson out of it. But like, if it makes you guys more worried than anything, I won't share these type of stories anymore. Like, I won't take that personally, because clearly there's a bigger issue here, and it's my antisocial behavior. And the last thing I want to do is hurt people. I don't want to make you guys feel terrible because I have this psychological issue that I'm clearly self-aware of, and perhaps I need to get help for it. But it's been in my life for over a decade now. Maybe this is pessimistic, but I don't want to get help for it. I'm aware of it and I don't want to get help for it. Maybe one day I'll change my mind, right? Sometime in the future, I will have to address issues I have internally unresolved. And when that day comes, I will gladly share it with y'all. So that's my take on that. And if that should probably explain all my past story times, like, how's Aku know this crazy person? This, like, what? How's Aku date this crazy person? Well, like this, that explains it. That's the answer for y'all. So, again, if it makes you guys feel bad more than entertained, or you guys don't see a lesson out of it or something like that, or, whatever, then no, I don't mind. I just talk about something else, or I just won't share it. Anyway, so let's get to the story, right? And, you'll see that your concerns are very valid. I mentioned in recent videos about how I've been going on dates very frequently. I ended up matching with this one girl on Hinge. This had to be like 2 months ago. 2 or 3 months ago. Two months ago. She didn't live very far from me. And we were talking for a bit, and we enjoyed our conversations. And usually, going back to my own personal issues, I noticed, as a pattern here, whenever I match with people, I tend to lose someone the moment I open up about my past, or I open up about the relationship dynamics I like. And remember how I mentioned that I have this theory that I feel like women want to feel safe from a deep biological level. If I talk about my past and all the things I went through, sometimes it doesn't make somebody feel safe, because they don't know if I'll go crazy or like I'll relapse, and then, it's something they have to deal with. You get what I'm saying? And about the relationship dynamics, it's toxic. And a lot of people don't want to be in a toxic relationship. It's very fair. There's nothing wrong with that. So I opened up to her about my past and the dynamic. And I warned her before doing so. I said, listen, what I'm about to share with you, I hope it doesn't scare you away. And she's like, well, share it. Sure. And hopefully what I share won't scare you away. So I was like, uh-oh. That's the first time I've ever said that to me. You about to tell me? You about to scare me off? It's going to be difficult, too. I'm curious. So I opened up about my past, right? And she completely embraced it. And I was like, wow, she accepts who I am. So I asked her after, what about you? What's the secret about you that you said may scare me off? She told me, and I don't remember what it's called, okay? It was called multiple things, because she has multiple things. She has multiple conditions. Again, I don't remember the name, but some of you may know. Her stomach is so messed up. Like, she can't eat certain things. She has to keep getting stomach surgery. It, like, keeps forming ulcers and stuff like that. I don't know. She has another condition with her skin, is like eating itself alive. I don't know if that's the right term. That's not even a term, but something like that. She also has severe insomnia. And it's so bad where it's like, yo, I don't know if y'all ever played Dungeons and Dragons or Baldur's Gate 3. If you ever played those games, you would know, or maybe you would be aware, that elves, or anything elven-like, according to Dungeons and Dragons lore, technically, they don't sleep. Elves don't sleep. They meditate, per se. They recharge their mana or whatever, right? So she doesn't sleep, but she zones out with her eyes open. It's spooky, right? And she's like mega drugged up as well because of all this stuff. And she was saying that she always has to go to the hospital. She also has this condition with her uterus. So having sex is very painful for her. And I was like, wait, what the heck? This might be too much for me. And now I see why she says she may scare me off. But not because I can't have sex with her. It's just, like, no one can be perfect. But you're literally dying right now. So I felt bad for her. And I felt bad. I opened up about my thing. She promised not to walk away. She opened up about her thing. I promised to not walk away. So I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as she's making it out to seem. You know what I'm saying? So I felt bad for her. And I decided to still talk to her. I did make a promise not to walk away, right? And I just wanted to get to know her. Even if I'm not interested in dating, she seems very nice of a person. But she just met with a lot of misfortunes. Man, I was talking to her for maybe a week, texting back and forth, right? She went to the hospital every single night during that week. She would text me mentioning that, oh, I was in the hospital. Like, she would just disappear for like 12 hours, no text message. Oh, I was in the hospital, sorry. Like, what the heck? It was a disaster. And to be honest, I don't even know why she's on dating apps. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve love, but yo, I don't think you're emotionally and physically available to be in a relationship. You're zoned out half the time. Your brain and your body is falling apart, literally, and you're constantly in the hospital. So the more I was getting to know her, right, her personality is very compatible with mine. I enjoy speaking with her, but I found out as well she was Jewish. And why is this important? Why is it important that she's Jewish, right? Well, you'll see. And I was asking her about how committed to Judaism she was, and she was saying that she isn't into the organized religion. She's more agnostic, but Jewish at the same time. Whatever, right? Anyway, we scheduled to get some sushi together. First thing she tells me, all right? It's like a sushi date. First thing she tells me the day of the date, she's like, oh, by the way, I gained a few pounds because of the meds, and I can't work and anything. I was like, oh, here we go. Am I about to see? She was pretty thin in her pictures, not pretty unhealthy looking thin. She looked healthy in her pictures, which I don't know. Am I gonna meet some chick who's like 600 pounds in the parking lot? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to feel that way. So I was like, all right, okay, whatever. And I prayed. I was like, whatever happens, whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna take her out to sushi, but because I like her personality. I like her as a person at least. And so I meet her at the parking lot of the sushi restaurant, and she doesn't look like she gained weight. Like, she looks just like her pictures. The only difference is that she looks very sleepy, which obviously makes sense to me. So we go inside the restaurant. She trips like 5 steps into the restaurant, almost busting her head open on the wall. All right. Bad first impression here, but hey, it happens. Everyone trips. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to like walk out because of that. So we sit down, and this is where things become a disaster. If it already didn't seem like one already, right? I have some pet peeves. You'll see. We sit down. It's a sushi restaurant. Sushi restaurant. For anyone who's been inside one, you know how it is to get sushi? You know the vibes. They got the calm Japanese music playing in the background. All you hear is a little chatter, right? It's kind of like a library at a sushi restaurant, right? Man, this girl has no indoor voice. She's talking on maximum volume. I was gonna tell her to lower her voice immediately. Like, moment she walked in, she sat down, bam. I don't know. It felt like someone was speaking through a microphone to me, but I didn't say anything. Maybe she's excited or passionate or something right now. Someone's taking her on a date, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to pass judgment about this, but I'm thinking in my head, listen, lower the decibels a little bit, all right, or a lot. But again, she was talking very loud. It was very uncomfortable for me. Like, I'm sitting right in front of you. Everyone hears you in this place, okay? So when we sat down, I took a better look at her. Remember I was saying, like, I want to see, is it really that bad what she's saying? Because, people will exaggerate their problems, and she was not lying. I saw her arms. Right, I was sitting across from her at the table. I saw her arms. You ever get an IV or an injection or a shot from a doctor on your arm or your legs? Yeah, her arms and legs were all bruised up. Bruises everywhere, like spots of bruises, and they were like spread. You know what I'm saying? They were like big bruises. I could tell it's from getting IVs or injections. And her hands, I could tell she's very unwell right now. Like her nails look like It looked bad. You know what I'm saying? Her hair looked like her hair. If I were to grab her hair, I could yank it all off her head with little pressure. Like her hair is just unhealthy. Everything's dehydrated. Like her skin was very pale. And my assumption was correct. She is dying. Now, we started talking about her conditions and everything, right? We got our food, we're eating, we're talking. And she was explaining how she had to pay for every single surgery. Every single hospital visit. Like I mentioned, she goes to the hospital every night. Every hospital visit, every doctor visit, every specialist visit, every surgery, she actually had to pay out of pocket for this. She traveled to Georgia one time. I live in New York, so she traveled to Georgia and to see a specialist about her condition, and she had to pay for all of that too. She was telling me it was like $50,000. And sorry, I don't know if you heard that. It was on my Alexa. Anyway, so she has no health insurance, and she barely works because she's sick all the time. So I'm curious, what the heck? Who is funding her $100,000 medical procedures? Is she rich or something? And trust me, remember when I meet someone on Hinge and I get their phone number, I do all the background search. I found her address. I found everything. She lives in a medium-sized house in an okay neighborhood in Long Island, right? And according to my research, she is low income. And her mom is also low income. And her dad is nowhere to be found. But from doing research on her father, he is also low income. I do background searches or my Googles because, I want to make sure I don't want to get catfish or anything. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm just puzzled by this. You know what I'm saying? So I ask her and she tells me she's opening up loans. She's getting loans to pay for all her medical procedures and stuff. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. Then later during the dinner, she mentioned, and I don't remember the name. One of you guys may know what this is. All right. She randomly brought this up. She's like, I'm on an app where I talk to people about political ideas and social justice. This app wasn't Discord. It wasn't Telegram or anything like that. I've never heard of this app before. It's very specific, it seems. And I was like, oh, so you're on an app talking to people about political stuff? I mean, what political ideas and stuff? Oh my God. That was the biggest mistake I've ever made asking that question. This girl started talking about Palestine for 45 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. Now, mind you, remember, she has no indoor voice. You know this topic is very sensitive. We're in a calm sushi restaurant, the nice Japanese music playing, you know what I'm saying? It was practically, she was yelling at me. I didn't even share my opinion about Palestine. She was rambling and saying this and that. And remember, this is why I told you all this. She's Jewish. Not saying all Jews are same politically aligned, but I think based on this story so far, you can make a good assumption about what side she was on. She's all for Israel and everything going on. She doesn't want to see innocent people dying, but she heavily supports Israel. I can't emphasize this enough. She is talking very loud. I felt so embarrassed. You got this girl here loudly sharing her political beliefs like this. And I'm like, oh, come on, cut. I feel like I should have never asked this question. So after 45 minutes of basically getting yelled at about Palestine and how much you support Israel, I tried to change the subject, okay? Because I don't want someone to pull up in this shop and, kill me or kill us. Or, we start having an argument with somebody. I'm not going to have an argument. You have an argument with some random person in some shop because you want to talk about Palestine this loudly, okay? And be this passionate about how much you support Israel, okay? And I'm not picking sides here, okay? I'm not trying to pick sides here in this video because I don't want to talk politics like that in this video like that. I'm just telling you what's going on here, right? So I tried to change the subject, right? But she brought it back to politics because she mentioned COVID. She was mentioning COVID in a political way. And this is what made me really uncomfortable, what just happened here, which I was already uncomfortable. But she is a mega advocate for the vaccines and getting all the boosters. If you've known me and watched the Aku anime, you know I am not vaccinated. Not because of conspiracy or political beliefs. I'm not vaccinated because I never left the house at that point in my life. Before and years after COVID, I stayed home locked in my room. When we had the lockdown happen, it didn't bother me because I spent years already locked in my house, in my room anyway. So I felt I had no reason to get vaccinated. It wasn't nothing deeper than that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist about it, nothing like that. I just don't leave the house, bro. And I explained that to her, right? And her out, I told her exactly what I just told y'all, right? And with her outdoor voice, but inside a building, she shouts, "You're not vaccinated?" I'm like, oh my God, I need to leave, bro. I need to leave, bro. Like, bro, like I literally, when she said that, I literally turned my head slightly to look around and said, person next to us looking at this person. Like, I see people eyeing us and everything. I was like, oh my God, I started drinking my water. Like, I try to act like I'm unbothered, or like, I don't know what the heck is going on here. So, oh my God, I knew I had to escape. So I asked for the check and pay for it. We got out. And we spoke a little bit outside, and I intentionally moved us outside because I felt humiliated in there. Okay. And when we're outside, I know she's like falling asleep while I'm talking. Like, and again, remember I told you she has insomnia, like really bad insomnia. And I was worried if she can even drive home. So we agreed to end the night. I wanted to get home safely. And when I got in my car, I was texting my friend about the date. I texted 2 friends about it, and I told them everything I shared in this video so far. One friend, he's wild. One friend, of course, he's being a jokester. I don't even know if he's joking about this. He says, he told me to fuck her because she's a, quote, libtard. But it will be hot to fuck her anyway. I was like, all right, chill, bro. Like, listen, clearly you got a kink, all right? Listen, he clearly enjoys the idea of having rough sex with some very liberal and expressive women, okay? Whatever, right? Thanks for the advice, bro. Thanks for the feedback after I just shared my tragic disaster day, okay? Thanks, whatever. He's always like that. But my other friend, right? When I told it to him, when I told this whole thing to him, he was like, he only replies with this at first. He says, oh, that makes sense. And I said, huh? What makes sense? He said, she's Jewish. Who do you think has been funding her procedures and allowing her to open up all those loans? She supports Israel and she is very Jewish. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Now you're entering dangerous territory here. I don't even want to repeat some of the stuff she said. My friend said, it's a guy. Why did I say she said? My friend said, I don't want to repeat. Listen, y'all know what he's trying to say here, okay? But chill, bro. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you want to make comments about that in the comments, I'm not encouraging you to say some wild stuff or be racist, right? Or stereotype, okay? But you know what he's trying to say here. And he also mentioned, which P.S., this friend of mine who said this Jewish comment, he's very liberal as well. He said he doesn't mind politically driven people. He just doesn't like them pushing ideologies onto others. Like, he feels like a lot of people, which honestly, I don't know if liberals, extreme liberals, know how to do that. I don't think they know how to, like, it's like kryptonite to them. I don't think they know how to not try to convert somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone is very liberal, prepare to hear about their beliefs and them expecting you to either agree or add on to it. And if you don't, they get very spiteful. They start having Karen moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, I told you, it's like kryptonite to them. It's like, for real, anyone who disagrees is kryptonite. And listen, it was over at this point. Me and this girl, right? I still kept in touch for a little bit, and she told me not to talk to her anymore because I, quote, care too much about her well-being. Whatever, bro. I'm bamboozled at this point. Listen, I wasn't gonna go far with her anyway. But from the things she was ranting about, I felt like doing that on a first date, like raving about Palestine and your love for the Jews, is not something that should be done on the first date. Listen, you can have your opinions. I'm okay with that. But, you know, we're at a sushi restaurant, quiet, where everyone can hear you. Like, I don't feel like you have some awareness here with this. Like, this is a first date. I want to get to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to enjoy our moments together. I don't want to talk about Palestine. I don't want to talk about people suffering. Am I crazy? Okay, yes. But am I wrong to feel this way? Second of all, she sounds like she needs to go write a book or something. All right, I keep it a rant. She needs to go on Instagram Live and rant to like 10 people or something. This app that she's talking about is probably filled with extreme liberals like her, and all they do is complain about social injustice. I'm just not into it. I don't like people like that. Thank God I didn't see her Twitter or her Instagram. I saw her Facebook though. My God. You just used your platform to be a social justice warrior. I'm just not into that. Okay? Not just romantically, just socially. We're not compatible as friends, as people, if that's what you do. This date was a disaster. And again, I'm not a fan of political people in general. I'm sorry. It's a good way to turn me off. And overall, socially, go write a book. Go on Reddit and complain like most people do who are political. Y'all just bitch on Reddit all day. Whatever, okay? Just keep it away from me. You want justice and you want to make a change? Go do something, okay? Go to charity events. I personally wouldn't go to protests or rallies because a lot of these people don't care that you're out there rallying protests. I'm sorry to tell y'all the truth, okay? You'll make the news. You'll be at your protest or rally. You'll make the news for like 24 hours, 48 hours, okay? And then people will talk about it for like 3 days maximum, and then nothing happens. Sorry to sound pessimistic, but it's objectively, factually what happens every single time. Especially in this climate. Y'all will go out there, y'all will march like, no, change this, that. And people driving by looking at y'all weird. You'll get some photographs, right? You'll make it to the front page of Reddit, or you'll make it on some local news station. And then from a higher level, these people don't care. They don't relate to y'all. They don't relate to this. What the injustice didn't we have a recent thing, the King's protest or something like that? You think these people you think these higher ups can relate to what you guys are complaining about? Do you think they care? But you guys are out there, right? So this is why I'm saying, and also that's why I personally wouldn't go out there. I personally wouldn't be rallying and protesting. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm wasting my breath. I feel like I'm unheard. Again, especially maybe in the past this would have worked, but it's desensitized at this point. But this is why I said go to charity events though, because that's actually doing something for people who are less fortunate. Instead of just walking in circles or walking up and down the block chanting. Yo, get a job that involves helping people who are struggling. Like, be a social worker. Actually do something. And I said this in numerous videos. I do a lot of charity work with my friends. I mostly focus on senior healthcare and giveaways. There's a lot of injustice in nursing homes. If you ever worked in a nursing home, or hopefully this is not one of you, but these nurses don't give a damn about these people. Like, I go there and I volunteer. I set up events. I make memorable moments for these individuals who, in a sense, lose their sense of freedom in a nursing home. You think their family members visit them all the time? Do you know how it feels to get dragged down? You have to be put in a nursing home and these nurses don't care. But this could get into a whole other topic. Okay? I don't want to start ranting about this. But hey, I want to do something to make a difference. I could complain about the nursing home situation and senior healthcare for 45 minutes, but is that that may be like, oh, how cool, I hear what you're saying. Okay, but I'd rather be in there. I'd rather be in there and do something about it. I want to make the difference. But see, anyway, I'm getting off topic here. I just don't want to be mad about things that are just going on out there and just like, keep my mouth open. Let me just go on Twitter and bitch. Like, just not into it. Sorry, man. Like, this is just my take and perspective on things. Maybe I'm a little bit cynical about outputs. Okay. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the story. This date was terrible, and I would stay away from political women on dating apps. I actually had someone unmatched for me because I said I have opinions about world events, but I don't try to change others' opinions. Anyway, this episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out.